So maybe I'm crazy, or maybe this is real. Now we find out.
Welcome to Experience Points, presented by our friends at Avtex, who transform customer experience through CX design and orchestration. On Experience Points, contestants earn points by answering customer experience questions and share their insight on how to make your interactions remarkable. Those points turn into dollars for the charity of their choosing. I'm Dan Gingiss.
And I'm Joey Coleman, and we'd love to introduce you to today's contestant.
Laura Gassner-Otting is a motivational keynote speaker. She's the author of Limitless, How to Ignore Everybody, Carve Your Own Path, and Live Your Best Life, which debuted as the #2 bestseller on the Washington Post behind Michelle Obama's book. She's a presidential appointee who helped lead the effort to create the AmeriCorps, and we are so excited to have Laura on Experience Points. Welcome to the show, Laura.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here today.
We're so excited to have you, Laura, even though you only ended up #2 on that list. It's okay. We still like you. We're really happy to have you.
I know, it's so sad. Next time, I'll get her next time.
All right. Well, you're going to be playing for a very special organization today. Will you tell us a little bit about it and why you chose it?
So I'm playing for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, and I'm playing for this charity because I spend a lot of my time helping adults to reach their full potential. And I think one of the most important ways we can do that is by starting out when they're younger, showing people great role models and giving them great support so that they can achieve their dreams. The Boys and Girls Clubs provides tutoring, it provides sports, it provides music, it provides art, it provides hot meals to kids who don't have it, and it provides places for them to go, safe places where they can be, where they can discover who they really are. And so that's what I'm all about for adults. So I figure, why not start younger?
Oh, I love it, Laura. What a fantastic cause that you're going to be playing for today. Let's definitely win them some money. Now that we know who you're playing for, what we'd love to do is get into the game. Today we're going to be playing Fake or Fact.
In Fake or Fact, examine 3 similar experiences. Some are real, some are not. Your task is to determine the fake from the fact. Each experience correctly detected is worth 100 points. 3 correct answers will earn you 200 bonus points for a possible score of 500 points.
All right, are you ready, Laura?
I am ready.
Most businesses have replaced their Rolodexes with a customer relationship management software, affectionately known as CRM. Now, while standard CRM tools come with pre-assigned data fields, the best companies customize those fields to track specific customer details that allow the company to deliver more personalized and thus more remarkable interactions. We're going to present 3 sample data fields that could be found in a CRM. I'll share all 3, and then you get to decide whether each one is fake or fact. The first one, the name of the customer's car. Now, not the brand name, I'm talking about the name that the customer calls their car, like David Hasselhoff called his car Kit on Knight Rider. The next one is the name of the customer's pet. And the third one, the name of the customer's suitcase. Again, not the brand, I'm talking about the name that a frequent traveler might call their suitcase. Let's talk first about the name of the customer's car. What do you think, Laura? Fake or fact?
I had a car. My first car was a beat up old Ford found on road dead Mustang way back in the days when they were not great cars. And we called it Big Bertha. But I'm going to say that a car company who deals with people who have cars, who love their cars, who are in the car culture, definitely name their car. So I would think that one would be fact.
So you think this one is fact?
I do.
Okay, let's see. And you are correct. There are actually several car companies and auto repair companies that track the name of the car because, like you and Big Bertha, there are many car owners who love their car so much that they give it a name. Which is a nice segue to our second one, which is a pet name for your pet. What do you think about a CRM that's tracking a pet's name? Is that fake or fact?
Well, I have a dog, as you know, Joey, who is basically always trying to die. And so she gets a lot of medication from Pet MD. They definitely send emails to Juniper and not to me. So this is definitely fact.
Excellent. All right. Personal experience leads you to say definitely fact, and you are correct. There's several organizations, including, it sounds like, PetMD and Chewy.com, that actually track the pet's name, and the communications go directly to the pet. Laura, I don't want to put any pressure on you. You're 2 for 2. You're doing really well. Let's go to
I'm scared.
Let's see how we do. All right. Tracking the name of the customer's suitcase. What do you think?
You know, I never would have believed this until I started traveling a lot and I got myself one of those like super crazy expensive suitcases, and I did name it, and I would bet that the companies, I haven't gotten any emails about this yet, but I would bet that the companies that sell those super expensive suitcases are like, I got you in for one for your little roller travel. I bet I can get you a family one. So they maybe, I don't know, maybe they ask their customers, did you name your suitcase? So I'm gonna go on a limb here and say fact.
You said fact. Regrettably, it's fake,
Oh!
at least as far as we know. Now, let's be candid. There could be some fantastic suitcase company that's out there that actually is tracking the name of suitcases, but it's not one that we could find. So maybe we'll put a little asterisk next to that, because I think you have solid logic on it. But nonetheless, we're going to say that one was actually fake.
Obviously, personalization is becoming a bigger part of the customer experience, and we tend to personalize more than just our own names or our family names. And I'd even add in that in this virtual world, we've learned so much more about other people because we can see their backgrounds, or we see their pets or kids running through the screen. And so we have more opportunities for personalization. I'm just wondering, maybe from your perspective as a consumer, where do you think this is really valuable? When do you feel good about when a company has personalized the experience?
You know, it's a really interesting question, because I would say that I probably don't notice the personalization as much as I notice the mess up in the personalization. So when I get something that says like, we're hoping that insert name here is enjoying the toy that you just bought her, right? And then you're like, oh, well, that's not so good, right? But when you see it, I think that there's something that happens that you don't even realize that you feel closer to the brand. It's just this sort of subconscious thing that's happening. And so you feel like they know you. It becomes one of those emails you don't automatically delete, because you're like, oh, I wonder what they like. I wonder what they think my dog will like now. Or I wonder what, they're how close they are to where I am in my journey owning this car, or wherever it might be. But I think it's a really interesting question about how it makes you feel and whether or not you even realize you're feeling that way.
Laura, I so agree with you. And it's interesting. You shared that in all of the 3 examples that we had, you personally had experience naming your car, naming your pet, naming your suitcase. One of the things that I know about you, because we're friends and many of our viewers and listeners might not, is that in addition to being known as Laura, a lot of your close friends refer to you by your initials, LGO. And I'd be curious if there's a line for you where the personalization goes too far, like how you would feel about a company calling you LGO versus a friend, or if you like to kind of keep 2 separate worlds. And to be clear, I say this as somebody who goes by Joey, and that is not my legal name, that is my nickname, but I've gone by it my entire life. I can sometimes tell when somebody has purchased my name because they'll send something to Dear Joseph, which I've never gone by, as opposed to Dear Joey. What are your thoughts on kind of how personal is too personal?
I think it depends on the brand. I think it depends on the interaction that you're going to have. I mean, for me, LGO is like my stage name. Like, that's my persona. That's who I am when I'm like up there and I'm kicking ass and I'm taking names. It's my alter ego, right, as Todd Herman calls it. And I don't really sign up for a lot of things as LGO, so most of the stuff I get comes to me as Laura. What I think is interesting is that I use all 3 names. Laura Gassner was my maiden name, and I worked in the White House. I had professional experience as Laura Gassner. So just to become Laura Otting, like, I don't know who that person is. So sometimes I'll get things that are sent to like Dear Gassner, because they'll see my name as Laura Gassner Otting. They won't know who I am. And I think it's more a question of understanding that we are all of the different versions of who we are. Like if I have filled out a form and I bought something from you, my first name will say Laura. If you've bought my name from somewhere, it's coming as Dear Gassner or Dear Auden Gassner, or like there's just so many ways to mess up my name, and those are an immediate turnoff.
So, Laura, when I was a kid, I used to love getting mail. I don't know why, but I ended up on all sorts of mailing lists. And I don't know if you guys remember when you were in high school and you started getting these brochures from colleges you've never heard of that are trying to get you to apply to their schools. And there was one local college that I came home from school one day, and there were 9 copies of the same brochure in the mailbox, all addressed to different spellings apparently of my name. And my very favorite one, which turned out to be my alter ego for a while, was Dawn Ginger, which, I think they had at least the initials correct. And so I think what we're getting at here is that personalization is great when it works. It is not so great when we screw it up. And that's the risk, is that if you're going to personalize, you've got to make sure that you have accurate data sources. Getting it from the customer themselves, of course, is the best, and that you can update it as you learn things. I think the other thing that we learned here is there are lots of different data points that we can track on customers. And I think that one of the things that is important to note is that the data points that we choose, if you're going to capture it, you might as well use it, right? And the reverse is true too, is that if you're not going to use it, don't bother capturing it, because sometimes we get asked for 100 things on a form and that data goes absolutely nowhere.
Well, Dan, let's recap how Laura did playing Fake or Fact.
Well, Joey, in this game, correct answers are worth 100 points. And Laura answered 2 questions correctly, which means she earned 200 points. Now, those points will convert to dollars, which means Laura earned a $200 donation to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Congratulations, Laura.
Woo!
Woohoo, Laura! Well, that concludes this episode of Experience Points. Check out more games with Laura and our other celebrity contestants at experiencepointsgame.com. That's experiencepointsgame.com. We'll see you soon for more examples of remarkable customer experiences here at Experience Points, powered by Avtex.
I think that the first comment that they really hit on that I wanted to really spell out is around what personalization should be doing. What does that come across as? And it should come across as a feeling of connection to the brand. And if it's noticed at all, right? They talked about noticing in a negative way, but I think even noticing it in a positive way, you've missed the mark, right? Because if you're noticing the personalization, then you're not being seamless enough to just create a natural feeling of connection with the message or with the brand or with the experience.
Yeah, I think that's right, and I think the other thing that comes into play is what do you do with those fields you capture? Just because you have them doesn't necessarily mean you need to expose them to the customer. And so I think in this day and age of collecting data and appending data from all these different sources that you can buy from, people really need to be smart about, are you using that to personalize and you actually transfer that to messaging with the customer, or are you using to do more targeting? And I think there's a balance that needs to be struck there.